Well, hello everybody and welcome to Sunday Q&A. Summer is finally here. Glorious, it's time to crack open the beer, fire out the barbecue, sit back and enjoy time. Lovely. But before we do that, of course, time to catch up on this week's news on the Q&A. Firstly, domain name guy says, whether England win or not, there won't be many sober drivers on Monday, which will mean that couriers could increase their prices for the day, as many drivers will have taken Monday off on holiday. It's true. I don't know if you necessarily get to increase your prices, but you certainly get more choice of jobs. And I had a pick-up on Monday morning. I thought it was going to be 5 drops, but it only turned out to be 4. And they turned around when they got there, they said, we've got no drivers in at all today. So, but... you know, I was just happy to do the job and get on with it, like, you know. He also says, on the subject of football, well done our team. I've got to say, we beat Germany, we beat the Ukraine 4-0, we beat Denmark, and we took Italy to the wire. And those will say that the better team won. 5 yellow cards. And the better team won. They were actually walking over our players, like, you know. Well done the team, and I'm going to say well done the manager. I was slightly disappointed with the reaction of some of my countrymen, I've got to say. Actually, some of them lads are 19, you know, and they went out there and they did their very best. And I say all power to them, well done. And besides, we didn't want the European Cup, we want the World Cup next year. My 4 pennies. Right, it's also said, domain name guy goes on to, driving agencies are increasing their hourly rates from 14 quid an hour and on a 7.5 tonne and 20 quid an hour for a class 1. No vehicle or fuel costs, which must compete with CX money. It's getting there. There is a thing also, which I will probably do a video about next week just because it should be flagged up on its own, which is that as of Monday, according to Superhero Transport Manager, you can actually twice a week drive for 11 hours. Normally you're allowed to drive for 9 hours and twice a week 10. As of Monday, it's a temporary measure because of the lack of drivers. You can drive for 11 hours. How I feel about this will probably come out. I think I'm going to do a video on it, you know. So anyhow, we get onto that one. And cheers for the flag up there, domain name guy. Right, so Ireland. I did one on Ireland. I'm going to do a couple of supplementary videos coming out next week, which I said I'd do. One on CX or Hermes, and one on getting started without the CX. And you guys have been kind enough to comment, and I'm going to actually record them probably today. And then what will happen is, if you watch that Sunday Q&A, it will naturally, or you watch that video, it will then naturally feed on to what you guys have said. I'm also very grateful for what you said about checking a job when it comes through. So if you've done that and it doesn't appear in today's Q&A, there is a supplementary video coming up on that one. So don't think I've forgotten you. I haven't. It's just I'm trying to fix it so that your responses actually tie in with the video, so that anyone who watches the video has also got the benefit of your knowledge, which normally, well, always is clearly much greater than mine. So right, so but on Ireland, I didn't think it was worth doing, so we're just going to go straight onto that one. He says, Van on a Run says he's never been outside the GB either. He said, love the adventure going on a ferry though. One thing to check is, it's a good point this actually, check if you're insured for EU countries. I'm not, so I can't even take the ferry to Republic of Ireland. I'm not sure if GIT and all the other insurances cover anything outside the GB. As it is for me, I'm standard national, I don't leave the country anyway. Well, I do, but I don't go over the water. But yeah, it's a point to be flagged up, because if you have an accident and you're in the EU and your insurance doesn't cover it, well, probably, yeah, not wise. Trevor Burns says, you're right, Pete, about coming back from Ireland. He says, I'm in Ireland and with the Courier Exchange, there are very few jobs. It's ideal for a lad like John to get backloads coming back. He says, any thoughts on same day courier network? Is there much Irish work in it one day? I found, I don't really know much person more than that. I'm not sure. The CX is only the one I've ever used, and I've only ever run out of the UK, so can't really comment. But the general consensus of opinion is the best you're going to get is the CX, and there's nothing kind of out there to like hit it at the moment. That doesn't really apply for Europe and stuff like that. There are other ones in Europe. As far as Ireland, doesn't seem to be an awful lot. Your best way seems to be to try and get in with some courier companies. As Sam Clark says, and he's obviously got some experience in the matter. He said, and John, if you are listening, mate, there's a couple. He said, John, if you're He said there's an average of 5 to 10 jobs a week that come out of Alfreton over to Ireland for short wheelbase. So you might want to try and check that one out. If anyone knows about these Alfreton jobs, if you want to pass it on to me, and I'll pass it on to our man in Ireland, gladly will. And also Shane Boney says he needs a large industrial clock moved from Cork. I don't know if he's kind of, he's a bit northern, I think, John, but he might go that way back. I don't know. Like I say, John, if you're interested, the guys out there, give me a shout. Or alternatively, if you go to the comments underneath your video, the Ireland video, there'll be Shane Boney. Just give him a shout out, and maybe you two can hook up there. So we're going straight into miscellaneous, because like I say, we're going with the follow-on videos now. So Pisa81 says we've had a few. Oh, by the way, anyone who says great videos, thanks, I enjoy watching, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your support. I don't really give shout outs anymore because it's a bit egotistical. Like, Brian thinks I'm great, and Michael also thinks I'm great, and here's Susan, she thinks I'm great. It's a bit much, isn't it? Like, you know, but I do appreciate it, and thanks very much for you know, for letting me know, you know. Pisa81, he says, you probably answered this many times, but is that a 7.5 lorry you drive? And also Boxing Emporium asked me the question, would I consider doing a class 2 or a class 1? It is a 7.5 ton, and I have actually done my class 2. I did my class 2 I passed it about 6 weeks, 2 months ago, something like that. I haven't got around to changing the lorry. I really thought I would. But the problem I had was I started looking at them and they were all a bit dear or not quite right. I kind of wanted a Merc, but there wasn't a choice. And then, well, I'll have a DAF, but that one's like an automatic. And it's done more miles than mine, and it's 2,000 back. And in the end, I thought, hang on a second, why am I breaking my neck to spend an extra 2.5, 3, 4, 5,000 pound on a motor which has done more miles than mine and which I don't even like as much as the one that I've got at the moment, just because it can carry more weight? And I'm making decent money in mine at the moment. And me and Alice are very happy together. She's just, I've just got all the bits got to go MOT. She'll go for an MOT, no problem. Bought her a bit of bumper paint and some new tracking bits for the front wheels. I didn't have them. I've been talking to transport manager Daniel, and there's a few bits I want to do to the lorries. Nothing heavy, just a few little bits and pieces we got to do to bring ourselves up to speed. Yeah, I looked and I thought, I was waiting for that lorry to jump out at me, go bang. This is the one. There was one I really liked, and the only thing that put me off was the fact it was in Armagh. And it's kind of a long way to trek over. I mean, I don't mind going some distance. If it's in Newcastle or Sheffield or even Glasgow, I'll go. But to actually get a ferry and go all the way over, and it looks great in the photo, and then you get there and you go, well, it's not quite what I wanted. And it wasn't that cheap either. And in the end, I thought, I'm not playing anymore. Instead, we're more focused in on getting the dough together to get the next 2 slots on the operators. To have 5 trucks running, we need about 26k, and we ain't far off. So I'm just going to get my head down, keep working, try and get some dough together, try and get another 2 trucks in. When we haven't get the trucks in, I'll maybe find another way around, I don't know. But yeah, that's the answer to that one. Ren Bell says he started on the CX a week ago. Do I have any suggestions on how I should charge on Saturdays and Sundays or at night time? There is a video, I will do you a link onto Saturdays and Sundays on the CX. They're not the busiest. What you want to do, what you really want to do is you really want to be charging return miles. So say, for example, you've got to go a 100-mile job and you was in the Luton van, you'd normally quote on 110. I would be quoting them 110 going out and then like 55p going back. So it's the equivalent of a quoting 160 on the job. They probably won't want to pay it. But the difficulty you're going to have is most places work, say the distribution centres or just sort of normal places are open from about 8 in the morning, so some not till 8, till 6 o'clock in the afternoon, some will shut earlier. So really it's kind of a 9 to 5 window, Monday to Friday. After that, things tend to shut down. So there's a good chance that you'll go out there, you'll get decent money dropping the job off, come back empty, and then when you start to do the calculations and you go, well, okay, I've got the money coming out there, but I've got to take a round trip and I've done 100 miles back and I've done this much diesel and I've done this much dead miles and I've done this much time, and by the way, it's Saturday afternoon and all my mates are down the pub watching the football and I've just driven back on my own. It doesn't always work out that way. So I would be looking to try to charge more. I would charge a normal rate there and then half rate coming back, at least half rate coming back, full rate coming back if you can get it, depending on where it's going. But whether you'll actually get it, whether they'll actually be prepared to pay that kind of money, I don't know. Craig MC125 says the new Apple Maps iOS 15 will have route optimization on it. So, well, we'll have to have a look at that when that comes in. I'm still waiting for either Google or Waze to bring in a lorry sat-nav. I'd pay for it. But if they could actually give me a lorry sat-nav. Also, on the subject of route optimization, I'm still doing the things with the Circuit Mob. Another video went up this week. I will do you a link to it. There's a few videos going on there, and they're not all just about circuits great, circuits great, circuits great. I do think it's good. If you need a multi-drop app, I think it's very good. But there's, I mean, I recorded one from this week, and it's just like, how can you make money as a courier driver? Just the normal stuff that you guys are really interested in. So it's not all just going to be like plug in the app. So I'll do the link to the video. If you can subscribe, that would be great. There's a load of normal videos going up on there, like, you know, the normal questions you guys want to ask. And because they've got that kind of video editing team and all that behind them, I can do it. I can throw all the stuff at them and go, you sort it out. And they'll probably be a bit more slicker and a bit more sort of, I don't know, rather than me just the ramblings of a madman that you normally have to endure. I do apologise. So, but yeah, like I say, there's the link, and if you can subscribe, would be appreciated, you know. Mr. Bruce says, on the circuit thing, actually, on the multi-drop thing, he says the multi-drop comment that the shortest route, in my experience, is regional, national. It's not always the quickest, it's the shortest. You know, there's that route, you know, you can go to Edinburgh like that, or you can go to Edinburgh like that, but if you go like that, because it's like the big boomerang, it does actually work out quicker. It does a lot more miles. It's not so scenic, but actually it's quite scenic in fairness. Again, these are things that we'll probably come to in the future. So a quick one today, because like I say, I'm doing the follow-up videos. I hope this works out okay. So I'll do the follow-up videos out next week. Got another couple of ones to go and do next week. And in the meantime, in conclusion, Steve Affers, thanks very much. He's a new guy, seems to have jumped on, like, you know. He says, I've come across your channel. He said, I'm not a courier driver and not really interested in being one. He said, I drive medical HGVs. He said, but if it ever happens I should need to change of career, I'm sure the videos will help. Well, I hope so, my friend. That's kind of what they're there for. And he also says, Lim Truck Stop isn't so bad as it's got an M&S. Now, I was pleased to hear this, because you kind of think, you know, as a trucker, I'm presumably supposed to eat egg and a bacon and bean for breakfast, and then Yorkie bars, and have a checkered hat, a checkered shirt, and funny hat, probably a cap. But no, as I walked in and I'm thinking, well, it's got a Greggs, it's got McDonald's, oh, M&S. You know, these aren't just any sandwiches, these are M&S sandwiches. And you know, it's kind of, I mean, it's difficult enough to stay healthy on the road as it is, you know. So but yeah, that's it. So yeah, just a quick one this week, because, well, I'm doing this on Friday, so it makes no difference to me. I'm still got Madness with Child and a interior thing going on there, and it's going to be such a nice weekend. I kind of thought to myself, you know what, I'm going to try and get everything I can done on Friday, and then I might just have a weekend off. I might just be able to do the barbecue, have a couple of beers, stick my earphones off and fall asleep in the garden. Be lovely, wouldn't it, really? I haven't got a job booked for Monday, though. I need to do that for my own peace of mind. So that's it. That's today's Q&A. Hope you're all well. Hope you're enjoying the sunshine, and I hope you are taking care and taking money. Oh, and incidentally, I do hope it is sunny when this video comes out on Sunday, because if it's pouring down with rain, I'm going to look like a proper Charlie.